Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today we have a new video on n8n, but today we're going to be working with the new version 2.0. So for those who don't know n8n, it's an automation tool. Today it's the most widely used by businesses. If we compare it to other tools like Make and Zapier, it's the simplest and most in-demand tool for companies. So it's very important to learn how to master this tool. Whether you're a student, a freelancer, or an entrepreneur, it's a really widely used tool in the business world. So the goal of this training is, first, I'm going to show you how to install an n8n server, and most importantly, how to get version 2. Because there's a huge difference between version 1 and version 2. So I'm going to show you how to do the upgrade, how to perform this update, and especially how to actually use the new features available on the version 2 server. Stay with me until the end. Alright, so there are two scenarios. Either you already have an n8n server or you don't. Now, if you don't have a server, it's easy. You'll just go and buy a server, and by default, that server will come with version 2.0, so you won't have any installation to do. So today, we can either get a server from the official n8n website. So in that case, we're looking at $24 per month. But the constraint here is that you're limited to only 5 workflows that you can run at the same time. So that's a very small number of workflows you can use, especially if you're a freelancer or a business and you're trying to test and activate multiple scenarios. 5 is really very limiting. So for that reason, we have another alternative, let's say, which is the Hostinger server. So I'm going to leave you the link to this page. It takes us to this page that has this specific logo. Now you have to be very careful. You shouldn't get a server for creating websites. This is a server specialized for the n8n VPS, so it has to be this page. So here, what Hostinger offers is a server that actually gives you an unlimited number of workflows. The number you can run here is unlimited, and that's what we're looking for. Now for me, what I recommend, there are two options. There's this one, the KVM2 or the KVM4. The only difference really is that this one has 2 processors and 8 gigabytes. This one has 4 processors and 16 gigabytes. If you're a freelancer, go with this one. If you're a business, then you'll need more resources for executions, so you should get the one with 4 processors. And this guarantees us, first of all, a reduced price. And on top of that, there's a 30-day satisfaction or money-back guarantee. And remember, the number of workflows is unlimited, so we can activate a very high number of workflows and test them without any issues. Now, the tip I want to give you is that when you come down here, you'll find the n8n server. So instead of selecting this one, select the one for 100 plus workflows. So what's the difference? This one is free. That means you don't have to add anything else. It actually gives you 100 plus workflows installed automatically on your server, and that helps a great deal. Beginners to actually test existing workflows. So for learning, it's really highly recommended. You click on confirm, and here you can add a promo code for n8n, which is a promotion for beginners, people who really want to get started for the first time. They can enter Joe n8n like this, you apply it. And there you go. So that gives you a 10% discount. This coupon is still valid. And there you go. You click on continue, and all you'll have at the end is a server automatically installed with version 2. Now we'll move on to see how to update an existing server. If you already have a server on Hostinger, for example, I'll show you how I can update it in just a few clicks. And so the update, we'll do it right now. If we already have a server with an old version 1, it's simple. What I'm going to do is come here to the Hostinger management interface. You know, when you buy a Hostinger server, it automatically gives you in the space here, in the VPS space here, our server. n8n server. I have 2 of them here. So if I take, for example, this server that has an older version, how do I update it to version 2? Here, I'm going to click here, and I'm simply going to click on Manage. Once I'm inside, you'll see that I have what's called the Docker Manager here. I click on Docker Manager. Here, the server is active. So what I'm going to do, you'll see that here there are 3 dots. We'll click there, and you have an option called Update. So when I click on that option, what it will do in a few moments, is actually very fast, is it will go from version 1 to version 2. And what's very interesting today with n8n is that the migration is actually done without any risk. And there you go, so it has just updated the project. So what's very interesting with the migration, if I look here, is what the system will do. It will first back up your workflows and credentials, all the connections you've already created, and then it will proceed to create a brand new n8n server, which is what we call the new workspace. After that, it will simply update itself with all of your new workflows. And the old one, of course, will be replaced with this new one, so there's no risk of having your workflows deleted or having any other tool. And that's actually what makes this migration so powerful. So going from version 1 to version 2 is really done very, very smoothly. And so now, if I go back to my server, I find that I'm on version 2.0.3, but I'm sure that by the time you're watching this video, it might have moved on to version 2.1 or 2.2. So anyway, the updates are always here, so they're available. And it's very interesting to update every time there are new patches. We're going to try and see a little bit now what the new features are in this new version. So now we're going to look a bit at the visual difference. So on the visual side, this is version 1 and this is 2. So 2 is a bit more black, so it's darker here, more dark. And even on the side, you know, the text, how it was written and all that. For example, here, when I minimize it, I have the logo here. So in the new version, I don't have the logo anymore. So, well, that's a little something on the visual side. And even here, I have the space directly. So settings, so here, I can quickly access the settings. We have a few more settings here, you know. And in the other version, to get to the settings, I have to go in here to click there to see the settings. So that's on the visual side. It's not a big change. But what's more interesting is actually a bit on the inside. So on the inside, remember in version 1, when I start working on my workflow here, well, I always have a little button there to save. That means that every time I make updates, I actually click here to save. However, in version 2, look, when I go into version 2, I have another button here called Publish, which doesn't actually appear in version 1. So in version 1, when I'm creating my workflow, for example, when I finish the workflow, I have a little button here to activate it so that this workflow becomes active. But with the Publish button here, what's different is that when I'm working on my workflow and I say, okay, I'm at an important stage, at that moment when I click on Publish, it's as if it's going to create a version number. This means that, imagine I'm working on a workflow and at a certain point I want to go back to a version. It's not just going back to tasks that, for example, just going back 1 or 2 steps. No, here I can actually go back to the version. And that's why it's very interesting for me when I'm working with, for example, a workflow for a company. During my development, I can create several versions. And if ever, you know, I make progress in the work and the company doesn't validate the workflow because we've just done a new test, then what am I going to do? I'm simply going to go back to a version that was operational and that I saved. And the fact of creating these versions is very, very interesting. It's like when you are, you know, on a Word file, you're writing, and then each time you actually save the file on your hard drive with numbers. So what does that help with? It helps so that if you ever get to a version, you know, an improved, advanced one, but you've made a mistake that you can't actually solve and you need to go back to an operational version, that's what really helps. I find it really, really interesting, especially for people who actually create custom workflows. Having this option of putting in your version number or your version name, that's a real asset. So I'm going to quickly test it with a workflow that already exists. So imagine that I'm going to improve this workflow. So this version, which is the current one, I'm going to click on Publish. And there you see, when I click, it will give me a default version name. But generally, it's very, very interesting to actually add the date. So here I'm going to put 1912, and I can even put the time, you know, so that's very, very interesting so that I can simply come back to it if ever. I'll put it like this, 10 a.m. Okay? And I can add a description to say this is a version done. Okay? I publish. So when I go here to the history, you'll see that. There you go. I have this version. So this version, when I click here at any time, I can go back to this version, which is an operational version, without having to find the many versions that are saved by default. And so that helps me enormously to better configure and work on my workflows with a very, very powerful backup system. Now, another very, very interesting modification or update is the management of workflows, and especially the sub-workflows. So you know that on n8n, you can simply create sub-workflows. So here I type sub, and there I can execute, you know, a workflow from my list, for example. Imagine that here I want the system in this workflow, when I trigger it, to trigger another workflow. Now the problem we had in version 1 is that when I execute a sub-workflow, that workflow doesn't actually return the information to the main workflow. This means that it executes correctly, but I don't actually get any feedback. Because that feedback is sometimes very interesting, because based on that feedback, if it was, executed well or badly, that feedback can help me retrieve variables, retrieve information so that I can trigger other actions. And what was created or fixed is that, as you see here, when I execute a workflow or sub-workflow, so it's a workflow that calls other workflows, I can tell it that I'm waiting, I want to wait for the execution to finish, and that obviously I can also return the information. Before, we just had an empty return. And that's really very important information. Look here. So this is kind of the sub-workflow that actually returns its result. And that helps me enormously to make decisions. So this is another one of the very, very interesting updates. So with version 2, n8n really wants to scale. So on the security side, it's very, very important. They've worked a lot on authentication and permissions. So if I look here at their release notes on their official site, so they've actually worked a lot on environment variables. And that's very, very important, so it will help to better secure the workflows. Above all, don't forget that with these workflows, if someone manages to hack a workflow, it means they can take control of your email inbox, of all the tools that you're using in your workflow. The workflow has access to the calendar, it has access to Stripe, it has access to a huge amount of information. It all depends on the actions you've connected to it. So the workflow is also a space that must be very well secured. So they've worked a lot on permissions and permission files. So these changes are it's basically a black box, so we don't actually see the exact code that they've updated. However, it was in fact done together with the n8n team to provide us, with a solution that more effectively handles various types of inputs and that better manages the queries and the requests which are used to query the different pieces of information. So also regarding authentication on default URLs, they've basically forced authentication so that it's done in a much cleaner way. So all these updates will strengthen security. And as a result, we have a version 2.0 that is more, more secure. That's why it's very important to actually do the update.